Imagine this. It's Christmas Eve, 2008. The streets of Los Angeles are glowing with holiday lights. But inside the SpaceX office, there is only a haunting, heavy silence. Elon Musk is sitting alone, staring at a blank wall. His phone is vibrating non-stop, calls from bankruptcy lawyers. On his bank account, the very last pennies. 3 rockets in a row had exploded before reaching orbit. Tesla, the company everyone laughed at, was burning cash like a forest fire. This was the moment of absolute collapse. Musk had gone from being a young multi-millionaire to a man who had to borrow money from friends just to pay his rent. The global press was already writing his professional obituary. But what happens in a man's mind when the entire world is screaming, "Give up!" In this video, we aren't just going to count his billions. We are going to look into the abyss he crawled out of. From the bloody fights in school to the red dust of Mars. This is a story about how pain becomes fuel. Welcome to Billionaire's Life. To understand Elon, you have to go back to Pretoria, South Africa. He wasn't the life of the party. He was that strange kid who could read books for hours and fall into a deep trance, ignoring everyone around him. His parents even thought he was deaf. He even had surgery on his adenoids. But he wasn't broken. He was just in another world. School was his battlefield. One day, a gang of bullies hunted him down and threw him down a flight of concrete stairs. When he landed, they beat him until his face was a bloody mess. He woke up in a hospital bed. His nose was shattered so badly he needed surgery years later just to breathe normally. But the physical pain was nothing compared to what waited for him at home. His father, Errol, was a man of dark and difficult character. Elon calls those years psychological torture. Those scars have never truly healed. It was then that he learned his biggest lesson. The world is a cruel place, and if you want to survive, you must be smarter and tougher than everyone else. Life is too short to sit still. You have to act. That became his mantra when he bought a one-way ticket to Canada at 17. One suitcase, a few books, and not a single person he knew on the entire continent. Canada welcomed him with bitter cold and back-breaking labor. The future richest man on Earth spent his days cleaning boilers in sawmills, wearing a hazmat suit, choking on heat and dust. He worked on farms, hauling hay. At one point, he conducted an experiment on himself. Could he survive on just $1 a day? He bought hot dogs and oranges in bulk. He wanted to test his limits. He asked himself, if I can survive on pennies, I can risk everything for my business and never fear hunger. When he and his brother Kimball started their first company, Zip2, they couldn't even afford a studio apartment. They rented one tiny office, where they worked and slept on the same broken couch. They had only one computer. Elon would code at night, so the website could run on that same server during the day. When he needed a shower, he walked to the local YMCA gym. This wasn't a movie. It was sweat, dirt, and endless exhaustion. His first victory, selling Zip2, made him $22 million at the age of 27. Anyone else would have bought a villa and retired. But Elon? He bought a McLaren for $1 million and threw the other $21 million into a new idea, X.com, which would later become PayPal. He bet it all again. He chose risk over comfort. After selling PayPal, Elon received $180 million. Any normal person would buy an island and forget about work forever. But Musk is not normal. He decided to build rockets and electric cars, 2 industries where newcomers always die. By 2008, this plan had almost become his grave. Every morning he woke up feeling like he was being punched in the stomach. His personal life was falling apart. A difficult divorce, public humiliation in the press where he was called a fraud. But the most terrible was the loss of his first son, Nevada. Musk didn't take a vacation. He didn't allow himself to cry. He just buried his pain in work, working 120 hours a week. December 2008 was the finish line. SpaceX failed 3 launches. The 4th was the last chance. If it failed, the company would cease to exist. At Tesla, the situation was even worse. They didn't have enough money for the engineers' salaries for the next week. Elon invested his last money, literally to the last cent, leaving himself with nothing. He cried in the office, not knowing how to look his people in the eye. And then, 2 hours before the deal closed on Christmas, a miracle happened. NASA signed a contract for $1.5 billion. Musk survived. But at what cost? His health was undermined, and his nervous system was burned to the ground. That was when the world realized this guy cannot be broken. Musk is often painted as a cold cyborg, but his path is soaked in moments where he put his interests on the line to help others. When Puerto Rico went completely dark after Hurricane Maria, and thousands of people found themselves in the Stone Age, Musk didn't wait for government approval. He sent his Powerwall batteries and restored electricity to children's hospitals for free, so surgeons could operate and children in intensive care could live. When children were trapped in a flooded cave in Thailand, he personally flew there with a mini submarine that his engineers assembled in a single day. Yes, he can be tough. He fires people in batches and demands the impossible. But he does it because he is obsessed with the future. His Starlink provides internet to conflict and disaster zones, spending millions of his own money every month. His transformation from a thin, insecure geek into Iron Man is the result of not just money, but iron discipline. He says, "I want to die on Mars, just not on impact." This is not a joke. It is the manifesto of a man who sees in humanity not just a species, but a spark that must be saved from fading. He believes that we must become multiplanetary and is ready to burn every cent and every second of his life for this goal. Today we see Elon at the top. The launches of Starship, the most powerful rocket in human history, many times larger than the one that took people to the moon. We see Tesla on every street. But behind this brilliance is a man who still lives in war mode. He sold all his mansions. He lives in a prefab house for $50,000 on the territory of the spaceport in Texas. Why? Because comfort is a trap. Musk proved obsession is always stronger than circumstances. He showed that one person, if he is crazy enough, can stand up to entire industries and win. His path is a reminder to us all. Life can't just be about solving problems. There have to be things that inspire you, that make you wake up with a smile, he says. His story teaches us that failure is just part of the process. If you aren't failing, it means you aren't trying hard enough. Whatever the critics say, this guy from South Africa, who was once thrown down the stairs, has already changed the world forever. The question is, what are you ready for? Will you sit still or risk everything for your dream? Remember, for great achievements, it's always day one. Time to act. Thanks for watching. This was Billionaire's Life. Subscribe so you don't miss the next success story that will change your thinking. See you in the next one.